I've been watching the Shenmue Endurance Run, and boy, is that game a pile of poop. Can you explain the enthusiasm around the game when it came out originally? It just looks painfully boring. I never played it growing up, but I find it hard to imagine it would have held my interest even back then. Yeah, it's a pile of poop. You're deadly accurate with that. But when it came out, like, games weren't doing worlds of even that size then. You know, the scope of what you can do, feeding the cat and driving forklifts and quick time events and like the one or two fights that are in that game or whatever it is. The idea that, like, hey, be here at a certain time, you know, like all that sort of stuff had never really been put together in that way before. So it's an incredibly ambitious game that I think doesn't hold up at all. And I think it was bad then. It was ambitious, but none of it ever felt great. So unless you could, like, just get by on that pure ambition and just go, like, somehow get lost in that world, which with all that voice acting and all that other stuff, like, just seemed impossible. I just don't think Shenmue has a lot to offer. I never did. Even seeing it kind of pre-release and all that sort of stuff, it was just like, all right, this thing, like, kind of barely seems like a game at times, and then you're just kind of, yeah, it's yeah. And you look at it now and you go like, oh, well, you know, there's some stuff here that you could view as like the blueprint for some of the games to come. Yakuza, obviously, but, you know, like some of the stuff wormed its way into other games. Obviously, you know, we went quick time event crazy for a while there, and it seems like, you know, people are finally kind of getting away from that stuff a little bit, but yeah. I think a lot of the enthusiasm was, you know, like, Sega had a very fervent fan base, and they were looking for the Dreamcast to succeed. They were looking for an exclusive game on the Dreamcast that would stand out compared to some of the other consoles that were coming out. So there was a lot of, like, kind of fanboy shit around it. But yeah, that game was never good. It was never a good game. It was just an impressive accomplishment. And very ambitious. And I think that, yeah, I think it was bad then. So now, after decades of games in its wake, not decades, but decade plus, the thing just looks broken. It looks like an unfinished project or something like that. So